James Toney weighs in on the much anticipated Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford super fight at welterweight. Quote, Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. Crawford, he's the best welterweight in the world. Errol Spence Jr. is a good fighter, but he's going to get knocked out, says James Toney, lights out legend. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So that was a direct quote from legendary lights out Toney, James Toney. He weighed in on an upcoming potential super fight between Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. Now, the fight hasn't been confirmed or officially announced as a go, but I fully expect, I'm staying optimistic. We'll just put it that way. It's a long time coming. A lot of people have been asking for it for years. And, people want to see it. People want to see an outcome, get a conclusion, see who is without a doubt the number one welterweight. And this fight would absolutely produce that. There's a lot of good upcoming names, Conor Benz and, Virgil Ortiz, and of course, Jaron Boots Ennis, but they're young in their journeys. The guy that literally would have to be at the top of the totem pole would be Spence versus Crawford winner. Now, I've kept the same opinion. It's a 50-50 fight. I'm not truly mad at people picking either guy because they're both great, brilliant fighters. So it's a toss-up type of fight. But I do feel, and I've always felt that a lot of the boxing legends, when they're giving their opinion on who wins, I don't know. I don't know how much they've watched of Errol Spence Jr., but when I listen to James Toney, Roy Jones, I think Antonio Tarver, some other people, I hear them, and a lot of people are picking Crawford, but just some of the stuff that they're saying, I'd have to see it, because I think, again, I'm not mad if you pick Crawford, but they're making it sound like Errol Spence is one-dimensional. Like when I listen to breakdowns, and I'm not trying to lump up multiple viewpoints, but I'm just saying all the boxing legends, and this has been going on for a while. Even Sugar Ray Leonard for the Mikey Garcia fight, they asked him, they said, hey, Sugar Ray Leonard, who you picking, Mikey Garcia or Errol Spence? For me, I thought the Errol Spence Jr. Mikey Garcia was an easy, that was like one of my easiest fight predictions to predict. SLC, subscribe, like, and comment. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I drop the illest and best content in all of boxing. I'm the best in the business, right? And that was a very easy fight prediction for me to predict. Errol Spence, too good, too great, too strong, longer reach, all that, what I'm saying? Southpaw. It really on paper spelled nothing but trouble, nothing but problems for Mikey Garcia. Yet and still, you had a legend like Sugar Ray Leonard, a famous welterweight, who went on, fought guys like Hagler as well, Roberto Duran, in a trilogy. And he's picking Mikey, and they asked him why, and he said, oh, because it's Mikey. So I don't think Errol Spence has really been given a fair shake by a lot of people. No doubt there are some people like Hasim Rahman. He picked Errol Spence Jr., but a lot of the big names, they seem like convinced that Crawford is, at least levels above Errol Spence based on how they're making it sound. But I see this being an extremely difficult fight. For me, I think the fight plays out like this in terms of whoever answers certain questions that I have for each person will be the person, whoever can answer those questions and respond in the appropriate way will win the fight. Like I have a set of questions for Terence Crawford. I have a set of questions for Errol Spence, and the person who can rectify and come up with answers quickest is the person who's going to be the victor and victorious in that particular bout. And it's like that. So it's really a coin flip in that regard. I don't see, like, people are making it sound like James Toney said Terence Crawford is the best welterweight in the world. And I don't know if you could say that, because I think they're 1A and 1B. They both have to fight each other. Like, here's my thing. Crawford has all knockouts at welterweight. I get that. But how can you say he's the best welterweight if he hasn't fought Errol Spence Jr.? And if we're basing it only on welterweight and welterweight activity in that division, how can we say Crawford is better when Errol Spence has the better resume? I mean, you guys in the comment section, please let me know if there's an error in my ways. I know there's not, but that to me doesn't make sense. If you have, it's like, let's say the the military, armed forces, army, right? The person that you see walk in the room, the lieutenant or, you know, General Patton or whatever, and he got the most badges and Purple Hearts and, you know, these badges of valor and honor and met the president and stuff like that. That's usually the soldier that did the most tours and the soldier that has the craziest body of work, been to Iraq, you know, multiple times and, you know, fought fighter planes and, you know, was a pilot, whatever, you know, went to Vietnam, whatever the situation is. All those badges mean something. They don't just hand them out. It's not like they just went to a swap meet or a flea market and got all these badges. That being said, those badges would be a soldier's calling card, aka their resume. So when we look at that in boxing at the welterweight division, Errol Spence, by a long shot, has done the better work, the higher caliber of guys when he's fought them. Like people say, oh, but Sean Porter, he got knocked out by Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence didn't knock him out. But at the same time, Crawford was in a tooth and nail type of fight. His own team said he was down, and this was years after, and this was post-pandemic, you know, after the pandemic had already started, and this was podcast Porter. He had already started a podcast. He was working for Ring City and all these other Trillers and things like that. Layoffs because of the pandemic. Hadn't fought since the Sebastian Formella fight. So he had like a 400+ day layoff. I mean, can we really compare the version of Porter that each person fought? Plus, Porter himself at his own mouth, his own admission, said he knew he was retiring, win, lose, or draw. So I do feel Errol in 2019 fought the sturdier, hungrier, you know, boxing dedicated only version of Terence Crawford. Let me know if you guys agree with James Toney. Will Errol Spence get knocked out? Big, bold prediction from a legend. This is what he said for the Hall of Fame weekend. You know, I don't know who wins the fight, but I still think people are sliding Errol Spence just in what they say thereafter. If you pick Crawford, you pick Crawford. But if you pick Crawford in you know, an epic battle, I would understand that more than just saying, oh, Crawford wins. Crawford's the best welterweight. And Errol's getting knocked out. That's just me personally. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. SLC, subscribe, like, and comment on the best of the business. But you already do it. I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with a $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.